Hello, you are watching the Rideshare Hub, but I am Steph on the pedal. I have a YouTube channel where I am currently making Instacart related content, where I'm kind of showing my experience as a new Instacart shopper. So if you'd like to see videos like that, make sure you check the link in the description box below. Also, next to that link in the description box below, you will find a link to sign up for Instacart. So if you are planning to do that, make sure you use that link to sign up. It would be appreciated. So I would like to talk to you a little bit about why I started driving, or not driving, but shopping for Instacart. I was doing Uber and Lyft before, but because of our current situation, I felt like I needed to make a change and I had to adapt. So I'm in Denver. I know some markets are still decent for Uber and Lyft, but for the most part, from what I've seen, it kind of seems like the grocery delivery and the food delivery is the way to go at the moment. So I also overall feel just a lot safer doing the grocery shopping over doing driving, where you really can't social distance at all in a car. I guess that is kind of true sometimes with the grocery stores. You can't always social distance there either. So really, I guess the absolute safest, if you are concerned about that, would be to go with one of like the Grubhubs or Postmates, etc. But I like Instacart quite a bit. And I mean, there are a few different reasons why I like it. One of the main ones is just because I'm constantly moving. So that was something that I hated about driving for Uber and Lyft, is just being cooped up in a car for so long. And with Instacart, you're grocery shopping, and I mean, the majority of your time you're spent in the store is, you know, moving around, bending, squatting, and it's a lot more active, and I like that so much better. So, I mean, with that being said, there are some downfalls. This is a pretty difficult time to be learning how to use the Instacart app, which, like I said, I just started a couple of weeks ago, so I started right in the thick of everything, but it's not impossible. And first off, I think I'm just going to show you what my earnings were from my first week doing Instacart. So as you can see, I'm at $411.84 for around 19 hours worth of work. Now, this time that Instacart shows isn't always 100% accurate. I think in my case, it is pretty dang close. So I did, let's add a couple hours onto the $19 or the 19 hours that I worked last week, and I'll say I did about $20 an hour, which is not bad at all. And what I've kind of noticed is that I'm getting better as I go. Just like with any job, the more you learn it, the better you're going to be at it, the faster you're going to be at doing your job. And that's exactly what's happening with me in Instacart. So for the first couple days, I was only doing like $15, $16 an hour. And then, you know, just a few days ago, I had a $23 an hour day. And I know in some markets that's chump change and nothing. And some people are making $30 to $40 an hour, which, I mean, let's get there. I'd really like to get there. So yeah, I mean, I think it's easy to really improve and increase that hourly rate by doing a couple of different things. So I'll give you some tips from what I've learned so far doing Instacart. I think the biggest thing is that you're going to have to do refunds and replacements of items just because the grocery stores aren't fully stocked right now. So what I do as soon as I get to the grocery store is I send a text out to a message. You message right through the app. I send a message out to my customer and I let them know, hey, because of the current situation, the grocery store shelves aren't as stocked as they normally are. Please keep an eye on the app for refunds and replacements. And then I ask them that they go through the app to approve or deny or not approve the refunds and replacements that I'm making instead of going through chat. Because one mistake I made through my first couple of batches is that I was talking to my customer about every single item that I wanted to refund or replace. And if you do that, it's just gonna take you way too long to get through an order. And I mean, you want to be quick, so your hourly rate is as high as it possibly can be. So with those refunds and replacements, I just make my best educated guess as to what a good replacement would be. I try to replace as much as possible just to keep that order total up, because that's another thing. Your tip a lot of times will be percentage based. And if you remove or refund a lot of items in a batch, then it may lower your overall tip, because say that customer tipped 10% of your order. Well, the higher your order total is at the end, the higher their grocery bill is, the better your tip is going to be. So you really want to try to get them as many items as you possibly can. Also, if you are just starting out, I would strongly suggest you take smaller orders. Now, smaller orders doesn't necessarily mean smaller pay. So what I mean by that is, if you take a look at this batch that I'm going to show you, so this is one order. You will have the opportunity to choose from different batches. So you can choose to accept this batch, and this is something that I think would be pretty good to start out with if you were, say, on your first date with Instacart. So with this batch, it is 12 items, or a total of 20 units. And I would suggest to stick with like 20 items or less. The unit number just kind of means they might have, you can kind of see here, like 3 different apples. So that's where the unit number comes from. But yeah, if you start with a batch that is too large, or if you start taking those right off the bat, even though the higher dollar amount might be enticing, you could be very overwhelmed with it. So really try to take small batches, at least for a little while, until you feel more comfortable with the app, and then everything will go a lot more smoothly for you. But I also want to talk about something else with this batch. So you see a few different things before you accept the batch. You can actually scroll, you'll be able to see all the groceries. You may want to look at that after you've kind of gotten a gauge for what is available at the store. If they are choosing a lot of things like bleach, hand sanitizer, toilet paper, all of those hot ticket items, those aren't going to be available. And then what you're going to want to do is, so you probably don't want to accept an order like that, just because you're going to have to refund the majority of it, and there won't be a replacement for you to make, because the stores are just sold out, or at least in my area they are, and I think most of them they are at this point in time. Also, you can see I have a $3 promo included. That is something that Instacart does occasionally too, where they will have promotions where they do like for 3 to 4 hours of the day, they'll add an extra $2 to $4 per batch. I don't know, those promotions are always changing, but that's definitely something to keep an eye out on. The main thing I want you to look at though is this mileage here. See where it says 9.3 miles? Okay, I accidentally accepted this order. I just got excited about the $20 payout for only 12 items, because for me at this point, that type of order is usually something that I can get done in less than an hour. So that's a pretty good return, that $20, but not that good when I have to drive 9 miles. So what that mileage is the distance from the store to your customer. And ideally, you probably want to be around 2-3 miles and under. And I took this order and didn't pay attention to that, and ended up in the middle of the country, and it's too far to drive. You know, depending on where you live, if you are in a more rural area, then this might be something you have to deal with. But if you can help it at all, I'm telling you, 3 miles, 2 miles, I try to aim for that 2-mile mark, and it's just, your hourly rate's going to be better if you're not driving as far. So, you know, it's not even that. It's the fact that I can't tell you how much I've saved on gas, and also just putting mileage on my car since I've started doing Instacart. So, I mean, I'm driving way, way, way less miles per day than I was when I was doing Uber or Lyft, and, you know, putting less wear and tear on my car, and then also spending a lot less money on gas. Not to mention gas, at least here, is a lot cheaper right now. So that's all really freaking awesome. But yeah, biggest tip, like if you're just starting, take 20 items or less. Make sure you're 3 miles and under. And then take a quick look at your grocery list to see what kind of stuff they're ordering. So another thing that I can tell you is to shop at a grocery store that you're familiar with. So if you are always going to the same store, I would try to accept batches, at least at first, for the store that you're most used to going to, just because you're gonna know the layout of that store better and it's going to be a lot easier for you. And as opposed to going to a store that you've never shopped at before. So something that I do, I don't shop at the store that I'm used to shopping at. I actually drive a little bit into like a nicer suburban area. And then I always take batches for the same store. So when you go to take a batch, you can also see what store the batch is going to be at. It gives you the address of the store. So you can continuously take batches for the same store all throughout the day. And that's going to be very helpful for you. Also, I mean, something else to consider is that if you find a grocery store that's really well stocked, then I would continue to shop at that store for that reason, because the more items you can get on a person's list without having to refund or replace it, the faster it's going to go. And like I've said before, this is all about being as quick as you can be. That way your hourly rate is as high as it can be. So yeah, I feel like those are some pretty solid tips for you. I do have more tips on my channel over at Steph on the Pedal. Like I said, I am making Instacart videos kind of like this one. So make sure you check the link below and come say hi to me over on my channel. Don't forget, if you are going to sign up for Instacart, make sure you use the link below. And also subscribe to this channel. If you'd like to see me on the Rideshare Hub again, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Okay, I'm gonna be looking for those. Give this video a thumbs up. All right, guys. Cool. Yeah, good to be here. Thanks so much for watching and have a good one.